Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having a fantastic day. We're taking, of course, another look at Solana, see what's going on. We're at like 173 for the moment, having some difficulty crossing this level of 175. But again, Bitcoin is also having difficulty crossing 98,000. So we got that similarity there. Difference is Bitcoin keeps retesting its local high. Solana keeps establishing lower highs. So it's not really a good pattern to see here. So hypothetically, if the price pull continues higher for Solana, we can presume it'll go to lower eventually, just based on the simple fact that it's still establishing lower highs and lower lows. So just kind of got to preface that because there's some folks that get a little passionate about Solana and say that I'm bashing on their favorite coin. The truth is this coin is underperforming tremendously and most other coins are not. And it's a difficult market, right? There's no other way around it. But I would say Solana is facing a lot of more, I wouldn't say problems, but there's a lot of things in the fundamentals, if you will, just of how many rug pulls there's been on this network, and I don't think it's boding very well for its short-term growth. We'll just put it that way. All right, so don't forget to like the button. Hit the like button, comment below if you get a chance. You can like the button too, but I appreciate you doing that every single time you watch one of my videos. Appreciate that very much. My like ratio is like 5% how many views I get. That's pretty poor. Come on, folks. Pick it up a little bit. Help me out. All right, so take a look here. Last 7 days, we can see 176 to 180 is a small amount, but majority of the local short liquidation has been swept here. So we're reaching our tentative top for Solana. I was really hoping to see 180, 185 before I considered a short, but I may be doing that sooner than later. Again, I'm just kind of throwing the idea out there. I'm not getting short heavy with the market, but the trend is still down. Even though Bitcoin's breaking bullish, technically, it's got a lot of confirming factors to the upside, and still very, very leery to take along with that coin. Same thing with altcoins in the market. Even though we see a lot of altcoins up today, how long is that going to last? Every single time we've seen Bitcoin recover to 98,000, we get a massive dump and we get a significant correction from altcoins, 2 to 3x of Bitcoin. So I still think there's propensity for the price to go down. Anyways, liquidation standpoint here, not a tremendous amount of incentive for the price to go higher, if you will. Just kind of just spread out a little bits here and there. Same thing with the macro, nothing really to note, nothing super noteworthy. We can see, however, liquidation delta is still maintaining a fairly high range, which is kind of standard. It does imply that a short squeeze should happen soon. So Bitcoin can, break 98,000. I think we'll break this 173, 175 range and push a little bit higher. We're going to talk about resistances, so you know specifically where the price action may or may not reject. My thoughts are 190 being a pretty healthy rejection area. I don't think we're going to see that though, honestly, just based on Bitcoin having difficulty crossing 100,000. Until we see 100,000 plus from Bitcoin, there's no way we're going to see 190 from Solana. It wouldn't make sense from a technical standpoint based on what we've seen here so far. Again, we take the data that we have and we use it, right? We don't just presume it's going to go in either direction because we're passionate and we feel like it's overextended. It doesn't mean too much, honestly. In this case, nothing really telling us that there's any incentive for the price to go higher. We do have resistance at about 180. That would be a solid consideration for a short target or an area in which you may want to consider a short. Anywhere between 180 and 190 seems sensible at this point. Keep in mind, if you're watching this video tomorrow, or perhaps tomorrow comes around and we have a lot of bullish convergence from Bitcoin, altcoins continue to surge, then that's a different story altogether. For right now, though, it doesn't make a ton of sense to consider a long position, just based on the simple fact that it's just there's nothing telling us it's a good idea. All right, so just please understand that. And again, strong chance the price is just going to go up anyways because that's how natural trading works, right? Just the natural ebbs and flows. But from a safety standpoint, from you taking a trade with confidence, taking a long right now doesn't make a ton of sense, even though it'll probably go up a little higher. Anyways, what I'm getting at, and I generally say this too, because whenever I say don't take a long, I'm not referring to like a scalp trade or some kind of short trade. So, something's held for a short duration. I'm referring to those idiots out there that think that they can take a long from here to $300 with 50x leverage. That's what I'm saying don't take a long for, okay? So please understand that. I'm generally just speaking to those who are typically foolhardy and not really the logical traders, if you will, okay? Again, tight margins are fine. You can take a lot of longs here and there. Like my day trading bot's scalping the market right now as it sees fit, even though it's short heavy right now and Bitcoin is pushing upwards, right? There's a lot of little things that are happening right now that shouldn't, and it's just a weird market. But take profits when you can, work with what you got. make sure you're not using too much leverage is, I guess, the idea. Anyway, sorry, back on track here. We can see we're bouncing off 30 on the RSI. Generally, that's favorable. As I mentioned yesterday, it's common for us to see that recovery from that overextension. Now, how long is this going to last? It's hard to say. It does look like we've reached our tentative top, which feels weird to say, even though it's so low. But if you compare that with how well Bitcoin's doing, again, I'm using bunny ears there. Bitcoin's not doing well, but it's doing well in its own regard. It's in its upper range of resistance right now. It's had a nice little 36-hour continuation. Solana is underperforming. I mean, from its bottom to top, we're talking like an 8% correction, which sounds like a lot. It's not really that much for how well other coins are doing, contrary to it. So please recognize that. All that being said, though, we're in a position now where everything else is mostly bearish. We have a slight stochastic swing to the upside, kind of that natural capitulation, but for the most part, there's nothing here that's like stark or extraordinary. And it's not something that, I should make a thumbnail for, saying that we're going to see a breakout soon because of this coin, right? It's not one of those. So please recognize that. 4-hour time frame, we want to recognize too here that the moving averages are pulling back. We're just over the 20-day SMA initially. This is like a really early sign of breakout or just continuation potential. There's a decent chance we will see the price continue up a little bit here, just because, again, we've retested this level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And then the same thing with Bitcoin too. Bitcoin has retested this $98,000 range multiple times. It would make sense for us to see a liquidity sweep there. And again, let me just go ahead and highlight this for you so you understand. Bitcoin is in its range for 15 days now. We've been stuck between 95 and 98K. There's a distinct probability we'll see this liquidation range upwards of 99,000 get hit. And if that is hit here soon, then obviously Solana is going to make it towards a run towards 180, right? 185, I would say, is best case scenario. But the key takeaway here is that Bitcoin is moderately bullish for the moment. And coins like this that have been held down for some time, they're more likely to respond, okay? So distinct probability we see a little bit of leg up here, but not much. I wouldn't expect much. Anyways, we're still under 50 on the RSI, generally not construed as a positive sign to buy. While MACD is converging, that's all well and good. It's just a momentum shift, giving you a bit of a placebo to want to take a long position with this coin. It's still not worth it to me if you were to take a long from 175 to 180. I still don't think that's a good enough margin. Anyways, different strategies for different folks, right? It depends on where you're at and what kind of trading you're doing. But me personally, I prefer to, set a swing trade and just kind of come back later to a profitable trade. While it doesn't always happen, lately it's happening less frequently. So we've had to adjust and calibrate and work within ranges. This isn't the kind of range that's going to give you a significant reward. Again, that's just me personally. We're still under 50 on the RSI. On the 4-hour time frame. Hourly, we do have this potential shift in momentum here, okay? Basically just implying that conversion lines above the baseline, that's good momentum. We're slowly progressing to work our way out of the cloud. So if we just say hypothetically close today at 173 or higher, then I think 180, 185 seems a little more sensible. It's the same logic as Bitcoin closing at 98,000 or higher today. And if that happens, then we may see 100,000. That's generally how the concept there. So here, in this case, I still don't like it because the lagging span is kind of within the price action. It's kind of jumping up and down. And even though we're getting close, you're reaching if you are trying to convince yourself to take a trade right now. That's a simple way to understand it. So I don't like what I see here. I think Solana is still pretty poor. The overall sentiment here is still very bearish until we can get above, some simple moving averages to at the very least a descending trend line here. There's no reason to consider a long position. Okay, and even if we get to that point, we need to understand the state of Bitcoin. What's Bitcoin doing at that time? Is Bitcoin maintaining 98 to 100,000 or higher? If it is, maybe it's worthwhile taking a trade. But between now and then, we've seen 5 fake outs in the last 20 days from Bitcoin. And that's literally 5 out of 5. It's 100. We're 100% on fake outs this month from Bitcoin breaking free from its range and going higher. Every time that happens, altcoins go lower. Majority of altcoins, including this one. All right, folks, that's all we got. I hope that was beneficial. Make sure you take advantage of this deposit bonus from Bitunix. Join us over on Twitter, Telegram, or Discord. I'll have a playout chart here shortly. I do look forward to working with y'all. Hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll see you next one. Take care.